Hi, welcome to Renest. My name's Rick. Mr. Rick, or Rick is fine. I teach the spiritual wellness classes on Monday and Wednesday. We also have a fellowship that meets here at Renest on Sundays. So, as you arrive and you've gotten here, we're probably already partway through the life book, which is what we go through on Mondays and Wednesdays. The odds are pretty high that you're coming in without having started at the beginning. So I'm going to try to give you some of what's in the beginning of the book without going through the whole book. Or you'll have a lot of questions that I really won't be able to answer because we've already gone through it. And as new people come and go and show up and this kind of thing happens, I do my best to talk about this more for the new folks, but I can't be as detailed as we were when we were actually reading through the book. So let's see if we can just help you get a better idea of what's going on. You see, the problem you're in that got you here is not rare. It's not unique. So what I want you to think about is from the time you were born, how you behaved, why you behaved that way, and the impact of it as you grew up in your family. See, what I know about you and what I know about me is that we're just a bunch of manipulators. And the reason is, when you came out of the womb, you started screaming for milk. And you were coercing. You were screaming. Because it was the only language you knew. You couldn't say, "Hey, Mom." "Hey, Mom." And so it worked. And because it worked, there's this thing we call positive reinforcement. And positive reinforcement means if something works and it's in our favor, we do it more and more. We do it again and again. And as you were little and you became 2, now they can start to talk to you a little bit. But you were in the terrible 2s. And what happens in the terrible 2s is your favorite word is no. You've learned how to coerce to get what you want. And you've decided that you can use the word no to tell people that you're not going to allow it. But the thing is, you're only 2 and you're small and they win and you lose. And then that angers you. Well, as you get bigger, maybe your parents are really good at communicating. "Johnny, Susie, you know when you were little, it used to be like this, you remember?" But now that you're older, you can understand a little better. That's not the way we want to behave. And unfortunately, not all of us get parents like that. A lot of us get parents that just slap us, knock us down, spank us, say no to us. And we're kind of shocked because they were giving us everything and now they're withholding things. And there's a tug of war going on, there's a battle going on. And so you got to look around and figure out how to get what you want. There's always some level of manipulation going on. And that's what we're talking about here. And these are relationship busters because when you treat me with judgment and anger and accusation and shaming, intimidation, threatening, condemnation, coercion, manipulate to control, when you treat me that way, I don't want to talk with you. So I have a way that I can talk with you. It's called fight or flight. I'm bigger than you, I'll win. I can just say, "I'm not going to talk with you." That's flight. But what we need to learn is dialogue. And that's one thing that's not common in our society, is dialogue. Because we've all got these tools in our tool belt for manipulation, to get what we want. And some of us grow up violent, using our fists to make sure we get what we want. And others of us can figure out how to give to get. "Hey, I did a good thing for you, now you have to do this for me." There's all kinds of ways to get what we want. But they blow up relationships because eventually people figure you out. So we are a place that's all about the family of God. Every religion in the world agrees that if you will live the way Jesus said to live, your life will be better. Every religion says so. Anybody that's done the homework knows it to be true. See, it's such truth That you don't even have to believe Jesus is the Son of God to do it. I happen to believe Jesus is the Son of God. But my first goal for you is to stop the destructive behavior that's gotten you to where you are here now. And so, what we know is that if you live a life pleasing to God, your life will be better. And that's what we're talking about. See, if you don't believe there is a God, if you're an atheist, well, then you're just going to continue to live your life the way you think. You're going to take in all the information from all the different religions, and you're going to just do what you want to do, and you're still on your own. But what you're missing is that there's actually a cosmic battle going on for your soul. And the enemy and God, the creator of the universe, are vying for your attention. And you got to choose how you're going to live. See, you got three voices in your head. One is God's, one is the enemy's, and one is yours. I want something. And it might be good for me, it might be bad for me, but if I want something that's good for me, I can count on God being in my ear to say, that's the way, walk in it. Yeah, yeah. And it's kind of this confirmation that I'm being good. If it's something bad, the enemy's saying the same thing. Yeah, do it. You deserve it. Why not? The world owes it to you. They owe it to you. And you're going to pick and you're going to choose. And sometimes you're going to choose what the enemy's chosen for you. And you're going to find your life is a mess. And that's what got you here. So you got to decide. You're going to be listening to the creator of the universe, or you're going to listen to the enemy. And if I don't trust God, then I'm on my way out, because I'm living in my own understanding. So this is what's going on, is a cosmic battle for your soul. And what God is continuing to do is he's continuing to show up, and he's continuing to tell you there's a better way. So now let me help you understand the better way. Over here. Jesus said, walk in these attitudes. If you walk in these attitudes, your life will be better. Be humble. Don't think so much about yourself. When you mourn, be comforted by the big picture understanding that actually eternity awaits. Be meek and be gentle. Eternity with God awaits. Be merciful and receive mercy. Be pure in heart. Overcome the temptations of anger. Be a peacemaker, child of God. Be a peacemaker. These are not peacemaking motives. These are selfish motives. And the selfishness blows up relationship. And I use this phrase often, alone and hidden. And as the world beat you up and took you down and caused all kinds of grief in your life, as that happened in your life, you withdrew. Even if you're a fighter in fight or flight, you hit them. They ran. It's the same thing. You withdrew. You ran them off because they weren't safe. What we do in Renest is we help you to understand the family of God. We help you understand how to live this way, how to monitor your behaviors, that you start catching yourself as you're doing this. And instead what you do is this thing called fruit of the Spirit. There's a fruit, there's a goodness that comes in the things that you do, more and more and more and more and more. And less and less and less and less and less. And your life will get better. The fruit being love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, perseverance, self-control. If you monitor yourself to walk in these attitudes, number one, don't let anybody knock you off of these attitudes. Because if you're walking around with an attitude of bitterness, you're set up to give back that. If you walk around with an attitude of understanding, you're more likely to respond in fruit of the Spirit. You don't have to believe that Jesus is the Son of God for this to work. What happens when you do it is life around you gets better. Because the people that are treating you with this, you learn language for that says, listen, you're not safe. We're friends. But I don't think we can continue to be friends. And you don't say it like this. You speak it in gentleness and with a good attitude that you care. And you help them understand. You're dangerous to me right now. I'm in my recovery. I can't see you. If you'd like to join me in recovery, come on in. Renest is a wonderful place. But it's not just people that maybe were in my addiction with me. It's also for the people that abused me, that hit me, emotionally scarred me, to say to them, listen, when I'm around you, I start to lose these attitudes. When I'm around you, I get angry and resentful, and I remember what you did to me. And if you'd like to stop doing that, we can have a relationship again. But otherwise, we will surely die as a relationship. That's the basic essence of what's going on. And that's language that you can learn and keep you safe. And by the way, when you're with Renest folks, this is the family of God. Renest people, part of the family of God at Renest. You can't be doing this stuff. This stuff is identified in the pamphlets that you've been given, the things that you've been asked to read. You're not here to be controlled. That's of the enemy. What you have decided is to agree with us at Renest that you would rather live this way. And you agree that the program that Renest has is worthwhile, and you want to follow it. So we're agreeing together to help each other. And while you're in the program, that you don't do this with others and pull them out and cause them trouble. You see, if you agree, then your behavior is going to prove it. And if your behavior proves this, then we're going to say, you're not serious. We're not here to control you. You can leave any time. But if you do this, then you're breaking our agreement. And if you're breaking our agreement, you can't stay. The agreement is, this is how we behave. This is how we do what we do. And we're working on ourselves. And we're getting better and better over time. And so, yeah, you might be asked to leave, but you'll be the one that initiated it. Don't do it. It's not good for you. Live in these attitudes. Monitor yourself for this fruit of the Spirit. That's what these pages up here are talking about. Monitor yourself for these attitudes. Monitor your behavior for fruit of the Spirit. Consider your eyes and your body language, your volume and your tone. Because you can say to somebody what I just said to you, and you can say it at a loud volume. But that volume is not gentle. That volume is threatening. You've got to learn to tone down your volume and recognize that your eyes say very much. And leaning in is an intimidation. Anything can be read as intimidation and threat. We got to get rid of that stuff. Are you trying to threaten and intimidate or nurture and facilitate relationship? And so we'll talk often about, you might make an assessment of what's going on around you. And in that assessment, you judged that this is what they're doing. So now you get to respond in kind. No, you don't. What we do is we recognize that judgment causes separation and isolation, and we're increasingly unavailable for the very people in our family of God. What we do instead is we make the assessment and we say, I'm not going to judgment. I'm going to come over here in this direction, and I'm going to have compassion for their plight. In the situation they're in, they're responding like they always used to respond. It was just kind of an automatic thing, and it ain't going good. And this. You can be a voice of reason to calm them down. Have some compassion for their plight. And what we're really saying is, God, I agree with you for their life. Tell me what I might do to be helpful and become increasingly available. And that's where this goes, right back here. I only say and do what the Father gives me to say and do. This is what Jesus said. Walk in these attitudes. Know my voice and follow. And this is how you'll walk. And this is what you'll do. And this is what you'll stop doing more and more and more. And so this whole idea that God speaks might be part of the problem for you. I don't trust God anyway because all this stuff happened to me. Well, wait a minute. Don't remember. You have to remember. In the beginning, God had to give you a choice. At Adam and Eve's stage, at your stage of childhood and even to now. Do you want to be part of the family of God or not? Make up your mind. Because God still speaks. The enemy's speaking to you. God's speaking to you. You're deciding what you want. And now you need to be listening for the advice of God. It's good, it's bad. What's the attitude? What's the fruit? What's the result going to be? Yeah, God still speaks. And so we need to be listening. And we're in this thing called prayer. And the word prayer, back in the original Hebrew, means conversational worship. And you can't fight the enemy on your own. The power of the living God, the creator of the universe, whether you see him as creator of the universe, higher power, it doesn't matter. That power is there to help you and wants to flow through you to lead you and guide you into the way of these ways and a better life. That's really what's going on. But if you don't trust God, you're not going to listen to God. And I'm telling you, God is trustworthy. We're going to go back over here now. If I don't trust you, we got nothing. If I believe that I can trust you, we got something. And then as I find out that I can have faith, that I can reliably trust you, now we're getting something more. See, God will do this for you. He'll help you see that you can trust him when you live those ways, those attitudes, that fruit of the Spirit way. You'll see that it's true. And then you'll begin to have a growing intimacy with God and a transparency that says, help me. Conversational worship. Help me. I'm having a hard time avoiding those divisive, manipulate to control behaviors. Help me. And he will. And in the moment, he will be whispering in your ear, you're starting to do it again. You're starting to do it again. Stop, 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 stop. And if you'll just stop, and you go back to the attitudes of Jesus, you'll be able to speak these kind of words. And relationships will be stronger, and separation and isolation will be less and less and less, and you'll have more and more quality relationships. And what God promises is as you do this with growing intimacy and transparency with him, you will have a growing depth of love and care with him. And in your relationships with humans, the same will be true. They can trust you. And they know they can trust you. And as that happens over time, and there's this growing care and support for each other, you'll find love, and you'll find relationship that you never thought could exist because it never existed for you before. But it can happen. It can happen. And you can ruin it all by knocking this block out again. You can develop all of this, and you know you've done it. You've developed relationships. And then you've gone and you've abused them, and you've used them, you knocked out the trust, and they said, I can't trust you anymore. And you lost the relationship, and now you're separated and you're isolated. This is real simple stuff. But it's hard to do. We got to go back over to the other side. We got to remember, if I'm going to follow Jesus, I'm going to be like Jesus. I'm going to walk in his attitudes, and I'm only going to say or do what the Father gives me to say or do. And that's going to be a conversational relationship with God that I try to keep going all day long. In the beginning, you won't be able to do it. You're going to go in and out, and you're up and down, and you're around, and you will be inconsistent. That's okay. But God just wants you to be on path. More and more have these attitudes. This stuff is all in the life book. This stuff is all in the life book. This stuff is all in the life book. Start reading the life book and try to catch up to us wherever we are. We might be halfway through it. But it's critical that you come and you join the family of God at Renest. It's critical that you try to catch up to us. It's critical that you start to build relationships of trust with the people around you. But don't jump in feet first. Everybody should be given a chance, a step at a time. You don't jump into the water. It might be too deep. And some people here are not ready to hear what you might have to say. And they might use it against you because they're still recovering too. So develop relationship, person by person, little by little, bit by bit. And ask them to be trustworthy with what you're talking about. And then you do the same. I'm so happy you're at Renest. I tell you, half the people that I see here leave They go back out and they're doing it again. And there's ones that have been here 3, 4, 5 times. And they finally made it. And there's others that have been here 1 or 2 times and they made it. And their lives are unbelievable now. Be part of that half, will you? Because as long as you think you can beat the enemy on your own, he will wear you down and spit you out. You can't do it alone. You and God, the Spirit of the living God, the power of the living God, can push him away. But without you with God, you're on your own. And the cosmic powers are way darker, more powerful than those of humanity. I look forward to seeing you on Monday and Wednesdays. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it made sense to you. Occasionally I'm available after Mondays and Wednesdays to meet with folks for a little time. And if you'd like to have that kind of time together, I'd be happy to spend it. Congratulations. You're here. You've made a step. Finish the job, will you please? Thanks again.